Hello, welcome to Orphan Espresso. I'm Doug.
I'm Barb.
And this is another tech tip, part of our series of analyzing every possible aspect of Olympia Creminas, and basically some of these things, or most of them, apply to Maximatics as well, Coffex, Pasquini Livietas, etc. This one in particular, this is a universal concept that exists with all of these machines, and that is the heating element and thermostatic safety switch. We've had a lot of questions about this lately, so we just want to clear it up, what this is all about. Here you have the two different style heating elements with the bases. This is the oldest style. You notice it has a completely round hole. Down in the bottom of that round hole is a mica disc. It's down in there. It's just very old school technology. That's got the mica disc. These have been rebuilt, which is the reason they look this way. Okay, this is the oldest one. I cannot state when they changed over. I don't ever have that in factoid in my brain, but this style, this opening for the switch, this is the newer style. Okay, so it has these little wings that go out on the side. Now, the way this one is set up, they did this Hail Mary and they added the magical brass washer, which serves as a little bit of a foot that goes in there. Okay, so if you have the old one, this is the switch that it takes. You can look, good look at that, Barb. This has, the bottom of it has this little mirror that's in it. This is a real spiffy part, but it's not available anymore. That is the original old style switch that just dropped right down in there. And as you can see, these terminals come up and they go out at about a 30-degree angle, so they don't touch any of the metal parts. Your wire covers went down over it. That's the old switch, not available. So this newer one, if you're familiar with your machine, this is the classic switch that is used in just so. Just goes down in here. Basically what you're looking at are two different models of switch. You have what we think of as the arms up and the arms out. The arms up, of course, would be a direct installation into the newer style heating element. With the older style heating element, you have to make some changes in order to use the only available newer style switch. So you have a choice. Let's just go ahead and show what we have to do to the old style, since most people have more problems with the old style because the new part doesn't look the same and makes you confused. So this switch, let's say this is no good. It's burnt up and you need the new switch. So what you have to do, and there's another catch. This switch is held in with a little short brass tab and I don't have one handy in all my parts, but it screws down into the hole where the ground wire goes, and it just pushes down on the very edge and holds this in place just with a little finger that goes out onto.
It's like a little fine fork.
Well, it just sits right down. It just holds that edge of it. Okay? So let's see what we have to do in order to use the new style switch in this old style thing. So first we make a choice. We're gonna have to either bend the arms up, arms out to this approximate angle, or we're going to have to take this and change those arms to make it an arms kind of up. So that's going to be my choice, is to go ahead and do that. Now, you can see that this is the switch, and you can see that it has this formation on the top that accommodates the new style clip. The new style clip just goes right in there and holds it down. Now, part of the problem with this is that the terminals enter under the plastic top cap. And if you want to modify the angle, if you want to try to bend these arms under that plastic top cap, about 9 times out of 10 you break the top cap loose and destroy the switch trying to change the position of these arms. So what we have here, this is a top mount. This is a top mount terminal. It's not embedded in the plastic. So it's very simple to take this terminal and take some kind of grabbing tool, and we'll just make our 30 degree. We'll make it, try to duplicate that particular angle, you see. So if I were to try to do this with this style that has the plastic top, I'd break the top off. And then you try to super glue it and that don't work at all. So we'll make these two. We'll go up in a position to approximate the same as we have there. Okay, now you'll notice another issue. The replacement switch is quite a bit shorter. One of the repairs that I've seen is that you can use just about anything to raise the height of this switch in this well. I've seen pieces of brass, I've seen stacks of washers. You just want to make sure that it doesn't rust. And I find the simplest thing to do is to use pennies, of which generally, for crying out loud, you have a penny?
Don't ask me, I never have any money.
Oh, 4 pennies usually does it perfectly. So let's see what else I have here. I'll look into my storehouse. Now, if you have an Olympia or a Maximatic or whatever, go ahead and look at all of these unobtainable parts. Man, look at this. Look at that.
Quit showing off.
You know, these are all. So just look this over, you know, but okay. Let me find some. Okay, there's a copper washer. That'll fit. I'll go ahead and use that as my penny. Of course, that copper washer, that costs more than a penny. A penny's about the cheapest thing you can put in there, actually. So I put in my pennies and check to make sure that this is high enough, and you see the little arms, they don't touch any metal or anything like that. Okay, now if you have the original little clip, all you have to do is push this over to the side and your clip will hold down on that edge. You put this on first. Okay, put that on. That's your insulator. Alright, when you put that on, clip will hold that right down. Okay, I don't have one, so and this has also come up, you just kind of look this thing over, you find yourself a little piece of brass. Copper would work as well, any kind of non-rusting metal, and I say, okay, I'm going to make one of these things real quick here. I kind of measure it out. It needs to be about, where's my Sharpie? It needs to be about, get some light over here for you, Barb. Does that help? Mm-hmm. It needs to be about, we'll make it about that long. And so you just take some type of piece of stock metal and you fashion your own little gizmo, and it's shaped, it kind of has a little thing going on here. We'll make it kind of, this will look a little bit like the original. Okay, and so what this
Right
will
now,
do,
put it down so I can see what it looks
okay,
like.
I just made that little thing out of a piece of scrap that I had. Alright, it's setting up on the pennies, and of course you just put this in here, take your screw with your ground wire, etc., etc., and screw the whole thing down, and it holds in place. And that's basically the way you use the modern size to change over your old one, and my pennies aren't straight in there. I think it's that numb washer that did it.
You have crooked pennies?
Pennies are crooked. Well, anyway, there, that's a little better. Yeah, it was the washer that screwed me up. And that still, once again, doesn't touch. 3 pennies looks like it'll do it. All right. And then, as I said, there's the homemade clip that will just hold it down into that socket. That's all there is to that. The newer one, as I said, is a direct. This is the clip for the new style. That part is pretty much impossible to get. And so, but this is just directly, you just look at this thing and you just drop that in there. And you use your clip that goes onto the ground. You clip that in there and put your wires on. Okay? That's all there is to it. This, as I said, is applicable to the old Pasquini Liviettas and some of the Maximatics, but this is the...
So that's the 3 penny fix.
Yep, that's the 3 penny fix. If you've got the old style, it's not available anymore, sadly, and you just have to go over to the new style. And once you get all of your everything done, just check to make sure that there's no possibility for these terminals to touch the metal, that everything is safe, and once you put it all together, then you'll be all done. But those are the 2 styles. You use basically the same fuse, but you do have to do some modifications in order to make this work properly. So that's that little aspect of the Olympia, everything you wanted to know, and now you don't have to ask.